All right, let's talk about auditing payroll. So this process should take about 15 to 20 minutes max, and I find it to be necessary because it's a great way to have a pulse on every single team member at the restaurant. Looking at last week, we're able to get information about labor, which is our second or one of the most expensive things that we have at the restaurant. I wanted to see who's working, how long they're working, especially if I'm a manager that doesn't work on every shift. It just gives me an insight as to what is going on at the store, and I'm going to show you how we do it. Okay, so here is what I have. I have the Google Doc here to kind of go over real quick, and we're going to use this. And I usually have my email open with a tab. That's how I kind of document things as they're going. So here's what's going on. Usually, so I just want to kind of go over how does the payroll work here at Matangas, is that on Mondays we have somebody. I usually do it. Chris used to do it, but I really like it to be more done in a deeper way and an actionable way, which what I'm going to go over today. Once it's done, LV needs to receive an email. LV's email is va@matangas.com. And say, hey, LV, payroll audit is done. Proceed with your part. And so that's must happen. So we're going to audit payroll, and we're going to send LV an email. And what LV does is that she will enter manually everybody's pool tips. She needs to manually calculate the pool tips, the driver tips, the gratuity, all that jazz. It goes in there. And she will send another email saying that, hey, all the numbers match, because she will make sure the total gratuity entered matches the thing in toast. It's very extensive. She does hours of work for this. And usually a manager says, okay, we're good to go. So these are just kind of layers that we put in place for the submission. And also on Tuesday, everybody gets an email where she outlines how much each team member has made, which is very important because we don't pass monopoly money. We want to make sure people are making good money, which is our objective, of course. Okay, so Monday payroll audit, here's what it's going to be. And I'm going to give you access to this document. All we're going to do is a few things, very, very simple. We're going to check sales and we're going to check labor. We're going to look for sales trends and labor percentage, if it's on target or off target. Great. So once I open this, say last week, obviously I'll look at shirts. I'm going to look up sales. I know that last week, for example, sales was 40K. This week is 37K. I see that the sales has gone down a little bit. When I do this every week, I have a pulse on the sales. I can be like, oh, it was 40, it was 37. Oh, we had a fundraiser. That's why. So you're able to see the trend in sales and how it impacts labor. I'm looking at labor percentage. It is on target because our target is less than 23%. However, I'm seeing a lot of overtime. Usually we don't want that much overtime historically in our restaurant. Obviously the case for David, but usually we've not had that many people work that many hours to be able to sustain it, because they also have school. They also always had something else going on. It's not been their sole thing. That's why we've been against people who have something else going on aside from work to work that many hours, because they're not able to sustain it, if that makes sense. Okay, great. So I'm looking at things that are on target. So if off target, which it's not off target, I'm going to dig into a few things. I'm going to dig deep to figure out what's causing the fact that my number is off target. I'm going to, just to make sure we identify the problem so we don't repeat the problems again, right? Who wants to repeat the problems? So I'm going to look at driver clock out times. I'm going to look at closing times. I'm going to look at overtimes and stuff as well. So you'll see me do this. And then I'm going to look over 4 a.m. Here's what it is. If somebody does not clock out, so I'm going to just do Control F. 4 a.m. Nobody has a 4 a.m. We used to have this before where people would forget to clock out. And if a team member forgets to clock out, the system automatically clocks them out at 4 a.m. But if you don't check it here, then we are paying them from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. We are paying them for the payroll. So that's something to identify. I looked it up. It's just a Control F real quick. Here's what it is. If somebody has a 4 a.m., what I'm going to do is very simply, I can just click on here at the end time. Hypothetically, if this was like 4 a.m., I change this to like 10 p.m. or whatever, which is our closing time, usually is what I do, since they did not clock out. Other thing that I'm going to look for, and you'll see me, is I'm going to scroll down team member by team member, trying to observe a few things. And that is, I'm going to look at the number of hours they're working. I'm going to look at days and times they're working. Like, oh, wait a minute. Avery's usually working weekends. She doesn't work weekdays or what have you. I'm just observing. I'm getting a pulse of each team member that I have. I'm looking at their rates. I'm looking at their tips. I'm looking at their gratuity if they made those. I'm going to think about them. I'm going to think about their attitude. I'm going to think about their performance. I'm like, actually, so-and-so was exceeded my expectation this last week, or she worked really long hours and I asked her to stay past closing. I did not get a chance to talk to her after, right before she left. So I make notes. So I would either do it on paper or in an email. That usually with email is because my position, I throw tennis balls at managers. You may do it on a piece of paper so you can address it. So again, I'm going to look at their performance, their attitude. When was the last time I spoke with them? Have I spoken to them recently? Have I complimented them? Have I coached them? What's next for them? I will think about each team member because I can see their list right in front of me, right? Without distraction. What can I team them up with? I can say, hey, Susan, you can learn from so-and-so this week on this. I make notes as to what it is that they can get training on, what's next for them and what's going on. Okay, so this is the Tuesday email that LV sends to all managers. You need to look that email up because we want to make sure people are making money. And if I'm seeing somebody's not making as much money, I can be like, oh, hey, wait a minute. Why is Susan making $8 an hour? And then I can be like, oh, Vanessa's like, oh, because she only works Monday nights and she doesn't make much tips. Oh, okay. So we want to make sure, like, we want to know why people are making good money or they're not making good money with the intention. Again, we want to make people to make good money. I look at drivers, how much they're making, because that's important. And also, LV sends a message on 7 shifts to every single gem and every single driver as to how much they actually made per hour. So they have an understanding of how much money they made. So they're aware of that. So based on that I said, here's all I'm going to do. I'm going to check out sales. I looked at that. Okay, I'm going to go down. I'm going to look at each team member and I'm going to think about, okay, Avery, she worked 19 hours because I know like last week it wasn't as much. Okay, that's going good. It seems like she's worked weekdays. Actually, no, she worked weekends as well. She worked pretty late. That's good to see. Caitlin Babcock. Okay, I'm looking at, for example, Avery's rate is 5. Caitlin worked 33 hours. I'm like, okay, I'm pretty happy with her that she can work at least one morning, it seems, because many techs are not able to. So that's good to see. In fact, she worked all day Monday. Did I get a chance to thank her for it? It was a long day for her. That's impressive, for somebody her age or overall. So I'm like, oh, she's making $11 an hour. I'm making mental notes of how much people are making based on the needle they're moving. So that's that. Oh, John Bailey. John doesn't work much. Okay, great. He worked Saturday and Sunday. Good to know. Alan, he's been back. He's making $10.95. Okay, is he working as a driver? Because if he was just a tech, he would have to make more money. I don't know. So I would ask, hey, Daniel, is it that Alan is mostly a driver? What's the vision for him? Because I don't know. Has anybody met with him or not? So again, if I'm one of you guys, I would want to make the time. Hey, Alan, what's your story? What's going on? We're happy to have you. I just want to know how can support you, equip you. Do you want to work more hours? It seems like you only work 11 hours. How many hours are you available? Are you available in the mornings? The team member knows, what do we need? What do they need? What can we do to work through this? And again, I'd be happy to pay him more if he was to do more. So that's that. There is that. I'm looking at the days and times that he's worked. Maybe he has something else going on. I really don't know. So again, I would ask those questions. If you are a manager, you need to know every team member that is under your governing territory. What do they do? What's their story? Brian, he worked 34 hours. That's pretty good. Impressive. He's making 10. He's been making good money with tips and all that. We appreciate that. Jiza, 21 hours. Again, I'm looking at the days. It seems like she's not available Saturday or Sunday. I would have a conversation with her and be like, hey, as soon as you're able to work a Saturday or a Sunday, even if it's one shift, even if it's 3 hours, please let me know. So we'll always want to put the word out over and over. That's just what we do. So Goldie, I've heard good stuff about her. She's making $450. I want to make sure on Tuesday she's making good money when I look at that. That's pretty good. 20 hours is not too bad. Caitlin C, she's not really working much. 11, what's the story with her? I don't know, but she doesn't work as much, it seems to me. Daniel worked 42 hours, so I'm looking at, it seems like he's really working long, few shifts. I mean, I would want him to take a break Monday, 11 p.m. Again, that's when it goes to looking at clock out times. I'm looking, what's taking so long? Why is he had to clock out at 11 p.m. On a Monday? That's really late to clock out. It's 2 hours after closing. That's something to look into and talk about. Friday, he was there till 8 p.m. So he did not eat lunch. He did not eat dinner. I mean, like he really needed a break. I mean, it's impossible that he ate nothing or sat down or took a break from 9:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. So anyway, so if labor was off target, I would be nitty gritty looking at all these things, but labor is within target. So that is fine. People are eating and or taking their break on the clock. It is fine because we're on target. If labor is high, then if I'm the manager, if I'm the GM, I'm going to be questioning everything. So I'm just telling you how it works. Saturday, very long shift, 10 a.m. to, 12:07 a.m. Well, that's very late. What happened at 12 a.m.? That's very late. If it was off target, I'm like, dude, what's going on here? That's very late. What are we doing at that time? Who else was with him? I don't know. I will look into that. Sunday, yeah, that's so he was there till 1 a.m. almost. Yeah. And Sunday, he was there till 11:15 p.m. To me, these are really long clock out times, unless it was justifiable. He was making whatever thing it is, but we need to be a little bit more productive with our time and not be there till the AMs. I mean, that's a little bit. Sai, he's back. It's good to see he's back. Okay, and then so I see Sai's name, and so something else. If I'm the GM, if I'm the manager, hang on. So something else I'll do is I see Sai's name and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I know Sai has been just through a rough season with the mom actually having COVID. So I'm going to make a note here. And in my case, this is what I'm going to do. Send dinner to Sai's family on us. $5 cash out of register for the driver. So from here, I'm going to throw a tennis ball from here. Important. Whoop, hang on. There you go. Because I know that his mom had COVID and they all went through COVID. I would figure out, hey, Vanessa, sort of the logistics. Let's send them some couple of pizzas on us or something, or a tiramisu or something, or Zeppelins or whatever thing it is. Cash out $5 out of the thing for the driver, or a manager can take it. It doesn't matter. That's an opportunity to be nice to a team member who's going through a season. And speaking of which, I would think about, oh, wait a minute, what's going on with Skylar and Riley? Important. Well, that's the baby waking up. Vanessa, would you see if we can send a contactless delivery to their home if it's not that far? Cash out $5 from register. So here's the thing. I did not put it here. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. I'm trying to do things fast. 3009. Okay, so here's what's going on. I gotta get baby. If you see an opportunity to be nice to a team member, be nice to a team member. So here, and you can always pass it by as, hey, in fact, brag about it. Hey, Ingham, we're thinking about sending so-and-so for so-and-so some food for their family. They're going through a rough season. I'm going to be fantastic. Thank you for being thoughtful. Take care of it. Make it happen. So that's the thing with Sai. And Sadie, 23. Wow, that's a lot of hours. It's a lot of hours for her age. So I just I appreciate that very much, but I want to make sure she does well at her school. That is kind of my concern. Okay, let me give baby to my mother. I'll be back. All right, so I'm looking at Abigail, 16. I see that she's been closing. It's not much closing. Blake, he's as a driver. This is a red flag. So I see that. $725. I'm gonna put VA. I'm put 3009. I'm gonna put 46. LV, please make sure. Please make sure that Blake's rate is $10 an hour in toast and 7 shifts. Thank you. Because he used to be an employee before, so his rate by default here is $725. That needs to be adjusted. Again, as a driver, I want him to make good money. And also, this number is what's affecting the labor percentage. So if this was 10, maybe we're off target. So again, it's important to see. I see that, oh my, he worked all day on Friday. So again, if I'm the manager, I'd be like, I'm going to make sure he takes a break, because he did not take a break. Or was he needed the whole time? Maybe he was needed the whole time. Maybe next time, oh, wait a minute, the next driver comes at 3. I better make sure he takes a 30-minute break or whatever. It's just that it's too long of a shift, whatever it is. So that's that. I'm looking at those hours. Desiree, she's making 10. So here's what's going on with Desiree. I think 10 is not enough for her because she is working. So I'll make a note here. She's currently making 10 an hour, and she works app station Friday nights. I feel like that's just not right. So I make a note there. So again, you guys need to tell us what people's rates are and what they need to be. I don't know. I just have worked a Friday, and I've seen her work a Friday night. I've seen her work Saturday. And I think she does fairly well. So Noah's making 11. He's carrying a heavy load. So he took no gratuity. Here's the thing. Again, I would ask. So here's how I would do it. So here's about rate. And then Noah, is it that he took no deliveries or that he didn't know to dispatch? That's a question I would present to a manager. You, the manager, you probably know the answer. But it's kind of a suspicious that he took zero deliveries all week. I don't know. That's kind of a thing. I would look into that. Again, I'm looking at his shifts, that, he took breaks or not. The closings are fair. So I'm seeing what happened on Saturday. I'm going to have to investigate with Daniel to see what happened there. Bailey, not doing much. 1 shift is not really worth. Riley, I know what happened with Riley. So he's making 12. I'm just keeping a note. He usually takes deliveries and stuff sometimes, so he gets higher rates. So that's that. Sarah, it's good. She's working 20 hours for us. That's nice. Again, Mari probably needs a bit of a raise. She's not been given a raise a while. Marcus, he does not work as much, sadly, as he used to. Anyways, those are the stuff I'm looking at. Nadia. Is Nadia? Thomas is making $10.50. Does everybody know that Thomas can pour beer? I don't know, because he's making $10.50. So I'm guessing he has a TABC. Do all the girls know that he's TABC? I don't know. We're paying him more. So are we ever utilizing him? But then on the other hand, I'm like, when does he work? Friday, 5 to that, Saturday, when we already have TABC people. So I guess there's no point in doing that. But again, I'm just looking at that. Thursday and Saturday, it's better than 1 shift. Madison. Eli, he's 11. He works weekends. David, he worked a lot. I was just curious as to, just a second, Ariana, 550. That's really high. So is it that she can also drive, or what's going on with her rate? Because I think the higher rate is 450, but if you have TABC 50 cents more, I don't know. I would just write it down what's going on there. Vanessa, working really long hours, which we appreciate. I would simply advise and look into the fact that, was it necessary certain times that, so I guess she worked between 6 to almost 2 hours here at 6 a.m. So I don't know what that was. I think it's a little long. So what was the work for that early a.m.? I don't know. I would ask for Vanessa to fit in what she needs to do in the time allotted to her. But this is like a 12-hour shift, no break at all. Did she need to stay till 10 p.m.? I don't know. Is it the team is not equipped to close? I mean, what is going on with this team? She should have been able to leave by 8 p.m. because that just goes back into team competence. Wednesday, she was there till 10:40, no breaks at all. So that's, again, I feel like we need to be equipping the team. That's almost 11 o'clock on Thursday. Was that needed or not? This is till 11 p.m. So it's, again, do we have no closers? Because, if we have David there, if we have, we need to be able to rely on one another to do that. I would just say that if you are there till 11 p.m. or something, I hope that you're training people, because we need competent people. So I'm just getting a little bit of a suspicious as to what's going on, to be there opening to close. And I hope that that we greatly appreciate it. I just don't want you to get too exhausted. That's all. Estelle, is that Ahmed? Harold is making, not working much, sadly. He's not working as much as we would like him to. Matthew worked a little bit there on the clock. Allison, 26. Okay, that's good. That's good. Summers, 50 hours. That's a lot of hours he worked. He also took a bunch of deliveries. That's fantastic. So those tips are his. Hannah, hold on. I'm looking at clock out times. I'm seeing like Monday took a really, I don't know what was going on Monday. So maybe, it was Labor Day. Maybe that's what it is. The closing times are really long there. Thursday. Other than that, okay. So something happened on Saturday where the guy's making dough. I don't know what's going on, but that's really late. Again, is that 12:15? The next day kid was there at 10:30 a.m. Till 11 p.m. These are really, really long shifts, and all of that. Rebecca, is that people are pushing for her to become a leader and stuff, but she's making 10. So I want to know, like, does she need to make 11? I don't know. Y'all need to tell me. She's making 450, bottom of the barrel here, and this is 10. Who's fighting for her? I don't know. I would just write her name down here and ask you all questions, because this is your team. She's making, I think, $4.50 and $10 an hour when she works kitchen. Izzy, 24. So she was there closing on Friday. Okay, so problem is Izzy's not working other days. I think we need another closing lead for Vanessa to be able to trust the team to close on, I don't know, on a Tuesday or on a Wednesday or on a Thursday. We need another closer is what I would see. So I would have you think about it. All of that information, because I'm just looking at clock out times. I'm trying to observe what's going on, is that. So it's been 25 minutes. So this is, y'all probably know the answer to these, but if I'm looking at this and if I'm one of you guys, I would want to know answers. Hey, what's going on with this? What's the plan with this? And I would investigate these things. In my case, I'm going to throw tennis balls around. I'm going to send you all the email trying to get those answers. But again, if it's on target of labor within our thing, I'm not going to dig deep. But if it's more than 23%, I'm going to dig deep. I'm going to figure out what's going on. and all of that jazz. So this is our payroll audit. It took me 24 minutes, as you can see, 25 minutes. As I'm writing the emails, it is a 30-minute task. It is not really that much, but it gives you so much insight. And if you're a manager and at one of our locations, I'd like you to take the time to do the audit, even if it's your role or it's not your role. So it gives you an opportunity to ask some questions, to learn more about what is going on at the store with different team members that you may not be aware of. So that's that. And that is the end of the payroll audit. Thank you. Bye.